Hi,
Hi everyone.
Shyma and Oskan here from London. We haven't been on in a couple of months, and that is because we have been learning and evolving, and we have accumulated a lot more knowledge, which we would love to share with you today. So we've got some patchouli burning in the background. Patchouli is one of your favorite smells,
Indeed,
isn't
it
it?
is.
Yes,
If it's not the favourite smell,
the favorite smell. So there you go. If you see some smoke wafting over, it's just
incense.
incense, yes, which we are using to create a vibe to speak to you with. And we're going to talk to you today about various things, including letting go, this elusive letting go, and trusting to get what you want. So, we've spoken to you a lot before about manifesting what you want. So, those of you who've heard our videos before will know we speak about essentially using your thoughts to create the life that you want. And what happens in the law of attraction community and when people speak of manifesting is they talk about how you need to think about what you want and then let it go. And this causes a lot of panic. It's like in my clients, they'll say to me, how can I let it go? They have this burning desire for something. How can I just say to them, that's fine, just let it go? And so that's what we wanted to talk to you about
That's
today.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you let go? Let go of what exactly? So basically, and this is, law of attraction, how it works. So, as an example, there was just one of many, but this example is 5 to 10 minutes and no more. Absolutely no more than 10 minutes every day. At some point in the day, you channel all your thoughts and your feelings into the desire that you have or something that you want. Now, the moment that you focus all of your attention and you kind of narrow it down and don't allow your mind to drift, wander, don't start thinking about something else. If you do, just allow whatever it is that you're thinking about to become a part of the process so that you bring it back, focus all of your attention. Now, what's really important is how you feel. So you imagine whatever it is that you want, that you have it. And so you're going to feel happy, content, grateful, excited. So you're doing all of those things for just 5 or 10 minutes only, focusing on and your emotions, your thoughts, and you can even talk to yourself. And you can show gratitude to the universe. Say thank you, universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so blessed. Thank you. And then after 10 minutes, just forget about it. Don't think about it anymore. Just go about your day. And then again, some point the following day and then the day after for just 10 minutes only. And don't hassle it. Don't bug it. You know, don't be a nuisance with it. Just, that's all you need to do. And literally within 3 to 5 days, you ought to start seeing some form of manifestation coming into your life. What do you
Yeah,
say?
that's a really good point because when Oscar says don't hassle it, what we can do sometimes, and I've been guilty of this too, is let's say you want a new car. So I'm going to sit there and I'm going to think about it for 10 minutes. And then, right, okay, I'm done. And then 2 days later, nothing's happened. So I'm starting to think, am I going to get the new car? Maybe I need to do
Am
something
I
to
doing
get the new
something
car.
wrong?
Am I doing something wrong? We were talking
Ah.
about this the other day, the thought that you're doing something wrong. And what this comes down to is a lack of trust. You have the desire for a new car because you're destined to have the new car. If you weren't destined to have the new car, you wouldn't want it. So, for example, I have no desire to become a mountain climber. And that's because it's not in my destiny, okay? If I was destined to become a mountain climber, I would want it and the universe would deliver it to me. So, you want a new car, that's because the universe is going to give you a new car. This desire is essentially you preempting what is going to happen. So when people ask us, can we predict the future? And you were just telling me this, you can predict the future. You know the future because you've got your desires. You know you're going to get a new car because you have the desire. And if you have absolute faith, absolute trust that the new car is coming to you, that's letting go. Because then, as Oscar says, you don't need to hassle the universe. Even if after a couple of days nothing happens, you're not going to be thinking, yeah, but where's my new car? I want the new car. No, you know it's coming. And you will be so at peace that the new car will just come. And you won't even be surprised. It won't be like, oh my God. You'll just be like, yeah, Well, I kind of knew that because I wanted it, and there you go.
Okay, but what you got to realise too is that, people might be saying, well, that's fine. But logically speaking, I don't have the money to get a new car.
Sure.
Or they might be saying,
Sure.
well, what with my luck,
Yeah.
or, I'm not going to get any money for the next 2 years, how is that going to happen? So it's not about logic
No.
or being rational. When you're talking about the law of attraction, you're talking about magic in many ways, but it is the way the universe works, and it's never been different. It's always been that way. If you look into your life and you look into your environment, look around you, and if there's stuff in your life that you don't like, it's because you created it. You've manifested it somehow by using your thoughts and your belief. So by trusting means that you believe unquestionably. You just know you believe. So what you may have to do is pretend. I know it's not. It doesn't look like I'm going to get a car and then you'll start using all the logic and reasoning that your mind tells you. But you can pretend. You can go beyond that, above it, or just ignore it because the mind will play tricks on you anyway. So you can just start to pretend, and just pretend for 10 minutes a day. Not a lot to ask, is it? I mean, in those 10 minutes, the vibes, you're telling the universe exactly your intentions, what you want. The fact is that you believe by just pretending. So you're not using your mind to go, oh, no, I'm pretending, but hey. No, you just create for 5-10 minutes this feeling that you believe, you're pretending, sure. And you're going to and then after that, just let it go.
Yeah. Because what I tell my clients to do is to stubbornly create your reality. So like Oscar says, your mind's going to want to wonder. Your mind's going to want to say, yeah, but how? How are you going to do this? How are you going to... I've never had a new car in my life. How am I going to suddenly have a new car? Your mind wants to be logical. And your mind is actually doing you a favor because the job of your mind is to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to be disappointed. It doesn't want you to be in any kind of situation which you can't handle. So it's going to try and tell you you're not going to get a new car because it wants you to be safe from disappointment. However, when it comes to creating what you want, that's not helpful. In fact, that's completely counter what you're doing. So the advice Oscar gave right at the beginning, stopping your thoughts, that's a really, really good tool. One of the tools he said about thinking about what you want about for a few minutes, that's brilliant. Another one is stopping your thoughts, because what you're doing when you stop your thoughts is you're showing your mind you're in control. The mind is not in control, you are in control. If you liken the mind to a dog, the happiest dogs I've seen are the ones where the masters are in control. If you let the dog run wild, if you give the dog no discipline, if you give the dog no training, the dog isn't going to be happy. Yes, it will be running around doing its thing, but it has no direction. It doesn't know what it's doing. It's not going to be happy. Your mind is very similar. Your mind is happiest and you are happiest when you control your mind. So what you can start to do this is, let's say you have a journey, let's say you have a bus journey for 15 minutes. Before you board the bus, just make the intention that that journey is going to be without thought. You are going to stop all thoughts from entering your mind. Maybe focus on an advert or focus on some kind of the seat cover in front of you, something that doesn't evoke any emotion, and just be. And just be. And like Oscar says, thoughts will come in. Thoughts will come in. Suddenly you're going to be thinking, and what am I going to be doing for dinner tonight? And suddenly you're going to be thinking, and I've got this thing tomorrow that I'm worried about. Notice them, thank them, and then let them go. And keep redirecting yourself back to nothingness. Because that redirecting is you controlling your mind. And the more you do it, the less your mind is going to start taking you off into all sorts of directions.
So what Shyma is talking about is remaining and staying with presence.
Yeah.
And just staying in and living in the moment. So that's not worrying about what's going to happen in 10 minutes or in an hour or next week. That's how anxiety is created. Not focusing on living in memory in the past, because that's where depression really originates from. But it's really living in the moment. And how do you stop thinking? Well, it's a difficult one, isn't it? But if you just sit there for a moment and then just look around the room, and it's probably a room that you've sat in for many years or you're very familiar. But if you just sat and looked at each item in the room without thought, don't label. Every second that you're doing that, you're absolutely connected to the powers that are available to you. Your most powerful point in your life is in this very moment, and it's many moments that come one after the other. And so you can notice your breathing. That's one of the best ones to use. Is just notice your breathing. Don't breathe on purpose. Obviously, you just notice as you breathe in and you inhale, the air turns in the lungs and becomes an exhale. And then you notice that, and you can feel your hand on your lap. Perhaps you can feel your heartbeat. You can hear sounds, but you also notice when there are quiet bits. When people are talking to you, there are gaps between words. Just noticing those gaps means that you're remaining in the now and in the present. And whilst you're doing that, all the power is available to you in that moment. You can't think it, because the kind of power that you get from the universe is beyond the mind. It's a much deeper resonance with the sort of the inner I of who you are, the real I. And we may talk about that one day, about that inner I, which is who you really are. It's not the thoughts. Thoughts aren't who you are at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I won't say anything further because I think these are a couple of really deep things that we've spoken of. But just to give you some practical tips, because I'm all about the practical, I'm all about the solutions. As Oscar says, think about your desire for as long as you can. I mean, Abraham Hicks says as little as 17 seconds. If you can go up to 10 minutes, that's great. And then just let it go. And what do we mean by letting go? Trust.
Universe.
Trust the universe and practice this stopping the thoughts. If you find doubt creeping in, absolutely fine. Just practice this meditation or whatever you want to call it, being in the moment. Schedule. It is meditation, yeah. Schedule 5 minutes in the morning if you're a morning person, 5 minutes at night, 5 minutes during the day, whenever you can find time, and just set that intention. For these 5 minutes, I will not think. And let us know what happens. Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, just an example of where you can get a lot of information on how to practice being in the now and being present. The author Eckhart Tolle has written a few books, but the book that you ought to read, I would recommend, is called The Power of Now. And just flicking through it and just reading it, anyone reads it from cover to cover, you will never be the same person again. So, yeah.
Yes. And Oscar and I are available for one-on-one coaching. We breathe, live, and teach this stuff every single day. So we can teach you everything you need to know about trusting and creating what you want. So reach out to either of us if you're interested in taking that further. And we will be speaking with you in another video very soon.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.
Be successful.